you'd better make sure you don't miss any of those QuickTime events.
So why do we hate QuickTime events?
Who says we hate QuickTime events?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to MiddleOfNowhereGaming.com's spoilercast / QuickTime event of Game of Thrones Episode 5, A Nest of Vipers. I am joined by Adam Leonard.
Yes.
And I am Jordan Leffler, and we're going to get right into it because it is a hot day, and we want to make this much quicker, much more of a QuickTime event than the last one. So here we go.
Winter's not coming where we're at, so
no,
let's
not
get
yet.
through this. All right, so we do begin at the beginning. We'll just kind of break it down character by character and then maybe address the final scene because things overlap a little bit. So, starting with Roderick Forrester. At the end of the last game, we went ahead and entered basically came back to Iron Wrath, and we found that Ramsay Snow was there, and he had your sister.
Yep.
So basically, you have a quick conversation with him, and at that point, you are asked by Ramsay to go ahead and take a little walk with him. He asked you to leave your sword. What did you try to do?
Yeah, I totally left it. I was like, there's really nothing I'm going to be able to do in this situation. I'm completely outnumbered. Like, trying to fight him just seems pointless.
Yep, well, I wound up keeping it. I had to try. Of course, you kind of knew that wasn't going to fly. But anyway, so then he takes you out into the forest, and you discover that he found Arthur Glenmore, who's the brother of Elena, and they are torturing him.
Yeah.
That was definitely messed up, and once again, Game of Thrones has this way of making you think things were looking up, which you thought they were at the last episode, because you had allies and some forces, and then of course it quickly takes that all away from you in like the most horrid fashion possible.
Pretty much.
So basically, Ramsay is doing what Ramsay loves to do. He's like skinning Arthur Glenmore alive, and eventually he basically gives you a knife and basically tells you the only way you're going to be able to save him is if you kill Ramsay. So at that point, you're given an option. Did you wind up trying to attack him?
I figured there was no way I was going to be able to kill him. And yeah, I just went with the not doing it because I didn't want to piss him off more than he's already pissed. So I just kind of followed suit with leaving my sword behind, just kind of didn't do it, just said screw it.
I kind of think that Ramsay Snow is kind of an asshole, so I definitely tried to stab him because, he's going to do, partially because it's just, you have to try, because if you know enough about the character from watching the show, from playing the game, the dude's going to do, the worst possible thing no matter what.
Sure.
There's probably not, a worse thing he will do, so you might as well try, because you never know, maybe all of a sudden Telltale decides to reward you, and you tried to, you chose to try to stab him, and you kill Ramsay Snow, and everybody's happy at the end.
Or at least get to put a knife in him,
Yeah,
in the shoulder or something like that. And then he goes, oh, you got balls, and then just moves on.
But, yeah, basically I tried to stab him, and he just, basically swatted the knife away and then pushed me to the ground.
Yeah.
And then he cuts Arthur's gut open, and there's intestines everywhere.
So, a quick question. Was he pissed when you went at him? What was his reaction?
I don't think it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was pissed as I remember it. I think he's almost more toying with you, because he knows that he's not going to actually let you stab him,
right? And
so he's just toying with you, and so I think he kind of flaunts it in your face that, of course, that's not going to work,
right?
Because he's all about the mind games. I mean, that's kind of where Ramsay's all about, is just trying to screw his people as much as possible. So I don't think he would have given you the chance to stab him if he wasn't 100% sure that he was going to be able to stop you.
Okay.
So Arthur dies, and along comes Elena. She finds
perfect timing, Elena.
Yes. And she is really upset about what happened. Naturally, she was very close to her brother. You can kind of have a conversation where you take a varying level of responsibility for what happened, but you do get kind of an important choice, and you do get the chance to comfort Elena. Did you? Which way? Where did you go here?
Yeah, I did. I mean, she in previous decisions, she decided to marry me, and I was like, she's still my intended, and like I've basically done everything to support her or help her. And it's like, yeah, got feelings for her. Let's do it. And we did.
And transitioning right along, I've supported her too, so I don't really need to comment more on that. Then the next scene we get involving Iron Wrath, really the last Iron Wrath scene of the entire game. Depending on how you played it, and it sounds like you and I both went the same direction, you are in bed with Elena, and yeah, so like a brief little happy moment of happiness where you get a little something.
Right. I was pretty happy with that moment, and then Sister comes in.
Yes, Sister comes in, and she needs to talk.
Talia, right? Talia.
Yes. And you find out that she has intercepted some writing. She saw somebody in the woods, and she now knows who the traitor of Iron Wrath is. Dun, 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 dun. So, before she tells you, she wants you to promise that you're going to kill the traitor. What did you do?
Totally promised.
Yep, that wasn't going to fly. Promised, absolutely. Because basically, at this point, playing as why am I Roderick? Sorry, playing as Roderick. You've just been so much shit at this point that I'm just like fed up.
Give me some action. I want to be able to accomplish something.
I'm gonna freaking lash out at whatever I can at this point.
Right.
And basically, the big twist is you and I both know which direction we went. Is guess what? Whoever you did not pick as the Sentinel is a traitor.
Yep.
Sir Royland was my traitor.
When I agreed to kill the guy, though, before even meeting him, like, I was still pretty certain it was Maester Orangutan.
Okay. You thought there was some monkey business afoot?
I did, and I was a little surprised. I mean, like, I was still like in the back of my mind, like, oh, it might not be him. Like, it might not be, but yeah. So it was Royland for you. It
was, and I kind of thought that was the way it was going to go. Is that it was going to punish you for in whichever direction you didn't go.
Yeah.
I was glad because like my deepest fear is that they would be even crueler to you and like make it whoever you put your trust in.
Sure.
Is like the person screwing you. They didn't go that route, though. They do give you a really nice, Telltale gives you a really nice asshole walk of shame where the character basically walks through all the poor decisions you've made in the game thus far, and basically spells out why logically they decided to basically turn their back on you and sell you out.
Right. Yeah, so it was Duncan for me, and I don't know, like, I'm not sure. Did you feel like your traitor was believable? Like when after he went like through it, did you say, okay, yeah, I believe that this guy would actually betray me?
Yeah, I think so because I was so at odds with because especially early on in the game, I was trying to play the diplomat, and so I found myself at odds with Sir Royland a lot because I picked Duncan, and then I continually sought a more peaceful path.
Sure.
Until towards the end when I just beat the crap out of what's his name?
Griff.
Griff, yeah. But for the most part, I tried to take the peaceful path, and so I did conflict with Royland a lot. So, it was a little bit disappointing that he'd betray me, but it wouldn't have been like the biggest shocker. Like I said, I would have been far more upset if Duncan had done it.
Sure. Yeah, and see, for me though, like I didn't go I chose Royland as my Sentinel, but I didn't go that route the entire. Not all my decisions were military based. I kind of went diplomat every once in a while, and I felt like by playing both of them, using both of their information, both of their strengths, that I was, being a good leader, and then Duncan just is like, no, you didn't listen to me enough. And I'm like, I don't really know if that's legit. I mean, I still ran him through with my sword, but
So you killed
him.
Him.
He's dead.
Yeah, same here. Even the promise that he knew something about that was going to happen bad to my family, that wasn't enough. It was just like he had to die, especially because I promised my sister, and I value my sister, Talia.
Way more, yeah, exactly.
So, basically, you basically kill, the traitor. And then you're basically, you're kind of given a choice of, what you want to do next, but it seems that all basically added up to the same thing, that is you're about to roll with your force.
Right.
So, moving on. Next up, we have King's Landing. Not a whole lot really happened at King's Landing.
Not much. No, we could probably breeze through this pretty quickly.
Yeah, so basically, surprise, surprise, you've burned yet another ally. Sarah can no longer trust you.
Right.
Which I felt bad about, because I tried to be true to her, and I lied to that lord to try to keep their arrangement intact.
Me too, yes.
But I did also kind of flip my shit at the wedding, at that reception. So yeah, that's more and more, like I said, Mira just kind of is playing the game at this point.
I couldn't really blame Sarah, but at the same time, I was like, I really wanted to pull that card. I lied for you. But I never got the opportunity, at least not yet.
Yeah, I was disappointed about that, because I wanted to point that out too. Hey, I went to bat for you there, but they don't give you that choice, which is unfortunate, because I didn't really feel like I could tell my side of the story the way I wanted to.
It might come up. We'll see. There's still one more episode.
Yeah. So then you're basically taken away to Cersei, who wants to talk to you. Mm-hmm. As with most conversations with Cersei, it's just about 5 minutes of really vague insinuations and
then you agreeing to whatever she wants and pretty much anyways.
I kind of took a neutral route. I didn't deny the fact that there was moments that I was didn't tell the whole story to Marjorie, but I did kind of play it off only it. Not maliciously, only if I felt it was necessary. So I tried to take a very diplomatic route, which Cersei seemed somewhat impressed by.
See, for me, I have been trying to go this whole super I'm gonna play the Game of Thrones route with Mira, and then I was confronted by Cersei and just spilled my guts.
Mm-hmm. And how did she react to that?
She was just like, okay, well then, I'm not really sure that I can trust you, but I'm going to use you, and maybe I'll help you afterwards. We came to an agreement, basically.
Yeah, right. I remember she basically said, hey, go talk to Tyrion Lannister, find out whose witness is going to be at the trial, and I'll deal with, what is that guy's name? Lord Andros.
Yes.
And who's, bringing some heat your way.
Right.
So, from there, you basically go off to see Tyrion Lannister, with wine, nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. Gotta go with wine.
It's funny because I like Tyrion Lannister so much that I'm always I always feel bad when he's when he's disappointed in me. It's far worse than if Tyrion Lannister was angry at me. He's like a parent. I just want his approval.
Yeah.
So basically, you come and talk to him. You give him some wine, and you're basically the big arc of this is whether or not you reveal the fact you're there on Cersei's behalf. Though I'm sure he's probably pretty aware that you are.
He sees right through it pretty pretty quickly, anyways. At least he did for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, I kind of assumed that he would have known. He's Tyrion Lannister is one of the most clever people in all of King's Landing. Very little gets by him.
Right. So
did you wind up just coming clean?
Well, I kind of tried. I was like, oh, Marjorie sent me. And he was like, yeah, right. And then eventually, I think something happened where we weren't getting anywhere, and the guard came in.
Right.
And the guard's like, okay, this is over. And I'm like, shut up and go away.
I did that, yes.
And he just kind of stood there and kept listening. And so we were talking a little bit more in the news finally, so Cersei sent you, right? And I said, yeah. And then he was like, well, just so you know, you can't trust her, and I don't have any witnesses.
Yep, pretty much the exact same thing. I actually did try to say Marjorie, and then I admitted, yeah, it's actually, because I couldn't lie any longer to Tyrion.
Yeah.
The guy tried to help me.
Exactly.
And then basically you're taken away from his cell, and most likely Cersei's not going to be happy.
Right.
Which is probably not good for you.
I remember asking him, I was like, can you tell me anything? Just give me someone, a name. And he was like, just make something up. And I was like, well, the guard is standing right here.
Yeah, that's not very good.
Yeah, because I was like, she's not gonna be happy with that answer. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there.
And then we jump over to Marine.
Just real quick, is that the rest of Mira this episode?
Yeah.
That was like nothing. Holy crap. Okay.
Yeah, like almost nothing happened in King's Landing.
Yeah. Okay.
Partially because she's just kind of the furthest away from the actual action.
I think I gotta believe this next episode is probably gonna be. I love Mira. I've said it before. Mira's my favorite. I really hope that she gets the attention she deserves in the last episode.
Yeah, I agree with that. She's great. And yeah, I would like to have seen more with her because her stuff is all political and it's really kind of tense and fun and
it's the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, a good way to call it back to the title. Jordan.
All right, so Marine.
Yes, in Marine. Then basically, you, Asher, Beshka, and Uncle Malcolm are all there, and you're in Khaleesi's throne room post your attack on the city. And how'd that go for you?
I don't think Daenerys was all that pleased with me.
Funny that.
Yeah, she asked me, how'd things go? And I said, it went slow. And she was like, oh, really? Is that why this master was killed? And I was like, oh, so you heard about that, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. I think I came forward a little bit because I knew she probably heard. Like, I wasn't going to be done. I knew she probably knew full well what went down.
I kind of felt like an idiot afterwards. It was like, of course she knows.
Yeah, she's not stupid, and she's well-informed.
Right.
Now, here's a good question. Did you reveal the true reason for killing the slave master? Because obviously that was Beshka's...
That's her secret.
Beskha's former master.
Right.
I started to indicate that we did it because he was a slaver, and then Beskha got really mad, and so I kind of steered away from like the specifics of that. What happened with you?
Okay, so the way I basically have been playing this is I want him and Beskha to be besties for the rest of like eternity. So basically, as long as I can fortify that relationship or make sure that she still likes me, like, I'm going to go that route. So I was like, oh, no, I'll keep her secret. It's important to her, and it's not important to Daenerys. Like, and I don't think that Asher really has that much, like, cares that much about the family that exiled him, like, as much as we're supposed to think he does. I think that the person he's been this close with, traveling for so long and living with for so long, is a little bit more important to him. So that's how I play it.
I've been kind of bounding back and forth, but Beskha kind of trumps, so to speak. So I originally was gonna say the whole thing because I thought it was a fair explanation, really. And it might have made Khaleesi sympathetic to us and our cause. But when then Beskha got mad that I mentioned that he was a slave master, I wasn't gonna go any further than that. I wasn't gonna push it.
I felt like she was Daenerys' reply was just gonna be like, well, that wasn't your justice to dole out or whatever.
Right.
So
apparently that's not the case. When I was reading, apparently she gives you gold if either you did not kill the slave master, or if you tell her that Beskha was the slave.
Interesting.
So I wonder if that gold would have played a part. In the next episode, or even maybe in the next scene, which we're going to right now. Dun, 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 dun. So you're basically told that the sellswords you're trying to get need to stay around to protect the place, so you have to find an army of your own.
Right.
At this point, Beskha leads you right to the pit fighters.
Right. Which was, I thought, a really cool scene. Going through that place, I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, all the dead people, they're all, like, you go into this mansion, and all the servants are getting murdered. All the pit fighters are like beating the crap out of each other. And then there's like the lead pit fighter, the Whitney Houston.
Yeah, the Thunderdome. So basically, you meet the leader of the pit fighters. Apparently, Beskha used to have a relationship with her back when she was a pit fighter, like a friendship of some sort. Kind of bad blood because it sounds like Beskha kind of got freed. Yeah. And kind of left the lifestyle. These dudes are really hardcore. Like, they're all about fight. Yep. I mean, they would be like in a Mad Max movie. Yeah. So you basically, explain that you want them to go fight, and that you try to convince them, like, hey, I'm not trying to enslave you. I'm going to set you free, and you guys can be warriors and all that good stuff.
They're all like, screw it.
Yep. So you have to fight, and It's funny because it's funny by the way because so they're like you're gonna have to fight, and then Beska, there was an opportunity where I told Beska if I die, I said go home and free Iron Wrath for me or something like that, and she's like, no.
Yeah, exactly. I did the same thing. Yeah, she's like, no, I'm not doing that.
So at first you think you're gonna fight this big burly dude who's this huge kind of obese.
Is he the Beast?
Kind
Wasn't he his name Beast? Or
the Beast? Yeah. Yes, the Beast. But they're like, no. Instead, you have to fight basically a ninja.
Blood Song.
And then you have a really awesome quick time fight. You use all manners of weapons just to beat the holy crap out of each other.
Yeah, it's just you get all the weapons.
And did you spare him?
I did.
Yep, me too, because he was badass, and I had a feeling that if I let him live... First of all, I didn't really want to kill anybody. That's not why I was there. I was there to get some backup. And he was also awesome, and I had an inkling that maybe if I let him live, I was going to have an awesome ninja on my team for...
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing for the coming battle. And I figured I could talk my way out of whatever I needed to talk my way out of in order to get the army, because they're all you got to prove yourself. I'm but I'm not you.
And... basically kind of towards the end, then you get to give a big rousing gladiator-level speech to the pit fighters, encouraging them to join your cause. Yep. Did you impress them?
Yep. Oh, no, actually, no. They were unimpressed, but they're all cheering at the end of it, so I figured.
Yeah, same here. I think they probably would have only been impressed had you killed Bloodsong.
I agree.
Because that's the big thing is that, the best death is being nobly killed and, fighting.
Well, and he approaches you, so then you go off to the boat is the next scene with him, and you're talking to I think Beska about what it's gonna be and all that stuff, and she's these people are bloodthirsty, just you might not be able to control them, and then Bloodsong shows up and he's you didn't give me an honorable death, and I was well, fight with me, it'll be cool, maybe you'll find it out there.
And then basically the pit fighters show up, and you and a bunch of bloodthirsty murderers get on a boat and head on over to Westeros.
All right, so shall we go to the convergence point for Roderick and Asher, or we want to do Garrett first?
We should just do Garrett real quick. There's literally no important decision that occurs during that
point.
Pretty
much, yeah.
You basically out in the wilderness, and you find out that Cotter's sister, who you met in the last game, is not so keen to go try to find the North Grove. In fact, she wants to go back to the Wildlings, and God, why the king's name is...
Oh. Not going to remember, but...
Mance Rayder. Yeah. Mance Rayder. Mance Rayder, and basically, Finn, if he's still with you, he was with me, gets all kind of upset and thinks the whole thing is stupid. Yep. Basically, you go hunt a rabbit for a little while. Did you kill the rabbit?
I, totally screwed up the quick time event. Which is very typical with me and apparently bow and arrows in this game.
I did it, but I'm not going to lie. I'll be completely honest. I started it a second time. I had a problem, with Telltale games, I have a problem of, paying attention, and I was probably looking at something that was going on in the Mong chat.
Sure.
And so I would look away for a second, and then I realized I missed something.
Yep.
So anyway, I got it the second time though.
Okay. Cool.
And then basically White Walkers happen.
Was she impressed or something real quick? I'm just curious because I didn't I totally missed.
Yeah, and I played it kind of humble. I said I'm all right, I make do with a bow, and then I shot the rabbit, and she's like, "Oh, you make more than make do."
Yeah, I said I never miss, and then I totally screwed it up.
Perfect. Yeah, and then basically White Walkers come. You get a prolonged White Walker fight. Finn gets killed if he's still with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I appreciated Finn following along, but I'm definitely closer. I feel more connected to Cotter.
I felt more connected to Finn. I felt really unfulfilled that he just died like that, and that him coming along didn't really mean anything.
Yeah, it kind of feels a little bit like Garrett of all of them might be just the biggest. He's there to be the Deus Machina.
Yeah.
Because really, there's not that much. I mean, it was interesting. So I'm we're gonna go beyond the wall, but it hasn't really amounted to much yet. Mm-hmm. It's it seems all about getting to this mythical North Grove.
And then we have no idea what the hell he's gonna do when he gets there.
Yeah, it's like, like they have one episode to like figure out how that fits into everything else going on.
Exactly.
So they basically, the White Walkers show up, Finn dies, and they head towards the North Grove. Because where else are they gonna go? Apparently.
Exactly.
Moving on to the finale, and man, what a finale that was.
Yeah, it felt almost like the end of the first episode again, like just jaw dropping. Oh my god, I can't believe the episode just ended that way.
Yeah. So basically, Asher and crew finally arrive in Westeros, and they're met with King Roderick, and it's kind of a cool moment because you're seeing storylines converge.
Yep.
Much like what has happened in the latest season of Game of Thrones, it's kind of surreal and really exciting when that finally starts to happen.
Right.
And you find out that there was an ambush.
Dun, dun, dun. Probably the not Sentinel was going to tell us about that.
Yeah, had you not killed him, but we killed him, so something else might have happened. Probably not, because probably that's going to happen no matter what, probably. But it might have nominally been better. And, of course, there's Griff. And crew, and basically they managed to kind of lock you guys into like a courtyard. Eventually there's a small window to escape, but guess what? Only one of the two of Asher and Roderick get to escape. One gets to sacrifice their life so the other may live. Which way did you go?
I thought about it good and long, and then the screen started to turn red, and I was like, Asher gets to live.
I went the same way, and the logic behind it was basically we needed an army to be able to defeat the White Hills. And guess what? Like, there was a very, very, very valid point brought up, towards the end of Asher's storyline, which was, are these pit fighters going to follow Roderick?
Exactly.
And basically it kind of came down to, Asher... Asher has this force that we know hopefully will follow him. Not to mention, there's also the argument that Asher is more able-bodied than Roderick.
Mm-hmm.
And I still believe that, their family and their, people will still follow, whether it be Asher or Roderick.
Yep. And I another decision for me was, I'm totally going to be playing this game, Asher, Beska, forever. And I don't know, there's the other relationship with Roderick and Elena, and I feel like if you had gone Roderick survives that route, Elena's family probably would have eventually supplied with more military force.
Yeah, I definitely agree the same way. I feel the same way because basically now you and I have both played enough Telltale games to kind of know how the system works, and really there is this great sense of choice. Mm-hmm. But really, if you're paying attention to how the cards move behind the scenes, usually it's all a balancing act of something. If one thing major doesn't happen, there is some kind of story twist that causes something equal to happen.
Exactly.
It's never like you're just going to get completely slaughtered. So, yeah, I'm 99% sure had you let Roderick live, you would have found out that Elena's family would have provided an army.
Yeah.
What will be interesting to see if there's a potential difference. Saying you come out victorious, what happens if all of a sudden you have a band of vicious pit fighters loose in Westeros, as opposed to a group of loyal soldiers?
That's true.
So there might be some difference in the end, in the aftermath, because that was kind of my big thing. It's okay, so the pit fighters come over, they win. What are they going to do now?
Maybe they'll just all die off.
That might happen. Everybody might literally die. Everybody might be dead by the end of episode 6.
Game of Thrones. Everybody dies.
You die. So that's basically what happened. Some huge moments, but like I said, it felt like a pretty short episode, just with a couple of big explosions in it. Big stuff for both Roderick and Asher. Not so much for Garrett and what's her face? Mara. But hopefully they'll get their due. Hopefully we'll get our big Iron Grove MacGuffin and the North Grove MacGuffin, and hopefully Mira gets to do some politicking that's somehow going to help you out.
Well, the next episode is called The Ice Dragon, so it's probably very related to what's going to be going on with Garrett. Real quick, did you get a coming attractions, a preview to the next episode?
I did not.
Yeah, neither did I.
I think that's probably intentional.
I think you're right.
I think they just want us to leave us wondering what's going to happen.
Telltale.
So, with that being said, we will be back with you hopefully sooner after Episode 6 releases.
Yes.
And we might even have a special guest.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, Jordan, any thoughts about Episode 6 before we close this out?
Episode 6 or Episode 5?
I think we talked about Episode 5, so let's just go to
Episode 6. Okay, this is going to end. This is my total out-of-nowhere theory, okay? Everyone dies but Mira.
And she's left alone in King's Landing.
No, I think she's going to inherit the throne. Or the land, the Forester.
Interesting.
Hollow.
But you think it's going to resolve in such a way that there's something for her to inherit?
Yeah, I think they'll be successful. I think she'll do that. Garrett will probably survive too. He's probably going to be up in the north and doing something super important, kind of like Bran from the series.
Though he might be the sacrifice. Maybe whatever happens at the North Grove, he has to sacrifice himself to enact some kind of major
too. Because he does have to have some sort of effect on what's going on, and there's no
and they're
going to be able to do that.
Yeah, it needs to be something that happens quickly.
Okay.
But
I just want Mira to be okay.
You just want Mira. That's the tagline. Jordan just wants Mira. I want Episode 6, and that should be coming in a couple months. And we'll be back with you just as soon as it does. In the meantime, Jordan, do you want to hit them with our contacts?
Yes. We are middleofnowheregaming.com. You can follow us on Twitter at Mong, MONGDOTCOM, @Mong.com. You can also follow us on our Twitch channel, which is Mong Plays, MONGPLAYS. We do a podcast every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And
Jordan and I are both on that.
We are super cool people. And please, you can watch that, or you can listen to it. Not live. We definitely put it on the website or on iTunes. We also are on all of the social networks. Go ahead and check those out. So we're on Facebook and all that jazz. And definitely check out middleofnowheregaming.com, where we've got all of our news, reviews, and features and cool stuff. We like to keep that rather updated with fun things.
For shiz.
And I am Jordan Leffler, and my Twitter handle is @JL_Fleur. And Adam, yours is?
Fanboy_Adam. Boom.
Sweet. So that's it for our spoiler cast of the 5th episode of Game of Thrones, A Nest of Vipers. Please check us out for the 6th episode and finale. It's coming soon. Can't wait.
Mong.